Have you ever wondered why Black communities around the world continue to face many of the same struggles, despite living on different continents, under different governments, and in different cultures? As a student of political science, psychology, criminal justice, history, and human behavior, I've spent years asking myself that question. The conclusions I share here are my personal observations and philosophical beliefs. I encourage everyone to research these issues and reach their own conclusions. In my view, one of the earliest attacks on any people is not physical. It is cultural. When people lose their culture, they begin to lose their identity. When identity is weakened, traditions fade, history becomes easier to rewrite, and future generations may become disconnected from who they are and where they came from. That is why I believe culture matters so much. Over time, I believe many struggles evolve beyond physical oppression into psychological influence. Unlike physical force, psychological influence often feels normal. It quietly becomes part of everyday life. It shapes our values, our decisions, our relationships, without many people realizing its long-term effects. When I look at many Black communities, I see increasing division between men and women, between fathers and children, and families that once depended on one another. I also see entertainment, social media, music, and popular culture shaping attitudes and behavior in powerful ways. Whether these influences are intentional or simply consequences of larger social and economic forces is something every person should examine carefully. Black people have survived slavery, segregation, colonialism, discrimination, poverty, and countless hardships. That resilience is remarkable. In my opinion, because resilience has always been one of our greatest strengths. Many of today's greatest challenges are psychological, cultural, economic, and social. In many African countries, communities also continue to experience physical violence, armed conflict, terrorism, political instability, and displacement alongside these other challenges. I also think we should ask difficult questions about public health. The United States spends enormous amounts of money treating preventable illnesses every year, while unhealthy products remain widely available and heavily marketed. Is society investing enough in preventing disease? Or are we investing more heavily in treating illness after it develops? Just as nations invest in preventing military attacks, should we invest with the same urgency in preventing diseases that affect millions of people? Those are questions worth discussing. I also think about the burdens many communities experience through fines, minor legal violations, economic hardship, limited opportunities, and cycles of poverty. For families already struggling financially, even relatively small penalties can create lasting consequences. Whether those outcomes result from policy, history, economics, or other systemic factors, their impact on families is real. Before we judge someone standing on a street corner without a job, we should ask what obstacles they have faced. Sometimes the answer is personal choices. Sometimes addiction, sometimes discrimination, sometimes economic hardship. Often, it is a combination of many different factors. That is why I believe compassion should come before judgment. When I compare Africans with Black Americans, I see different histories, but many shared struggles. Black Americans have experienced slavery, segregation, discrimination, mass incarceration, and economic inequality. Many African countries continue to struggle with armed conflict, political instability, corruption, poverty, terrorism, weak institutions, and the lasting effects of colonialism. Although the causes are complex and differ from place to place, both communities continue to face challenges that can affect generations. These observations have led me to ask whether there are deeper historical, economic, political, cultural, and psychological forces that continue to shape the experiences of Black communities around the world. I'm not asking you to accept my conclusions. I'm asking you to think, read history, study psychology, examine the evidence, challenge what you hear, including what I've said, because every generation has a responsibility to ask difficult questions rather than simply accepting easy answers. The future belongs to those who seek truth with open minds. Have you ever stopped to ask, who influences the way we think, what we consume, what we believe, and ultimately, how we see ourselves?